young, and the restless spoilers full. Welcome back to our channel. It is a fantastic day to dive into the absolute madness happening in Genoa City. Grab your coffee, or maybe something stronger, because we have a lot to unpack today, and I am fully ready to go off about the latest drama. Let's get right into it. I literally cannot believe what they are doing with Billy Abbott right now. I mean, I am sitting here staring at my screen after watching the latest episodes, and my jaw is just on the floor. Are we seriously doing this again? Are we really watching Billy Abbott self-destruct for the millionth time in a row? Because I am losing my mind over this Chancellor Industries takeover plot, I just need to vent, because if I don't get this out of my system, I am going to explode. Billy actually thinks he has won. He is strutting around town with that classic smug Billy Boy smirk on his face, genuinely believing that he has outsmarted everyone. He thinks he has pulled off the ultimate corporate coup, and I am just sitting here screaming at my television because it is so painfully obvious that he is walking straight into a massive, humiliating trap. Let's just break down the absolute sheer delusion of this man for a second. Billy is currently convinced that he has uncovered the holy grail of corporate secrets. He actually believes that because his father, the great John Abbott, bailed out Chancellor Industries decades ago, and the loan was allegedly never repaid, that the Abbott family technically owns Chancellor. And he thinks no one else knew about this. I mean, do we hear how ridiculous this sounds? He thinks he is the smartest guy in the room. He thinks he just stumbled upon a piece of paper that gives him the keys to the kingdom. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's really look at the history of this company, because anyone who has watched this show for more than 5 minutes knows that this makes zero logical sense. First of all, let's talk about the absolute titans who have run this company. We are talking about Catherine Chancellor and Jill Abbott. Do you honestly think for one single second that Catherine Chancellor, a woman who controlled every single penny and every single detail of her empire with an iron fist, would just forget about a massive loan from John Abbott? Catherine was meticulous. She was a shark. And Jill? Jill is the queen of self-preservation. She would never, ever leave a financial loophole that massive just dangling in the wind. The idea that these two brilliant cutthroat businesswomen just accidentally left the door open for an Abbott takeover is insulting to their legacy. It just didn't happen. And let's not even forget about the Victor Newman factor here. Remember when Victor owned Chancellor? Because I sure do. Victor Newman is the most thorough, paranoid, detail-oriented, ruthless businessman in the history of Genoa City. When he acquired Chancellor, his teams of lawyers and forensic accountants would have combed through every single ledger, every single contract, and every single ancient debt. If there was a massive unpaid loan owed to the Abbott family, the family Victor absolutely despises more than anyone else on earth, he would have found it. He would have paid it off immediately, just to spite Jack and John, or he would have buried it so deep it would never see the light of day. Victor would never allow himself to be in debt to an Abbott. So this whole secret evidence Billy found, it has to be completely fabricated. It is the only thing that makes any sense. So that brings me to the fan theory that has been blowing up the forums, and honestly, I am 100% here for it. I know some people are loving this idea of Billy finally getting a win, but personally, I think he is being played like a cheap fiddle. The theory is that this entire thing is a massive, elaborate trap set up by his own mother. Jill Abbott is testing him. She planted that evidence. She set the breadcrumbs. And Billy, in all his reckless, obsessive glory, took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, think about it. Jill has fired him before. She knows exactly how impulsive and destructive he can be. She knows he is a liability. Jill has been incredibly tense about Chancellor lately. and she has made it very clear that she does not trust Billy's judgment. She literally cited his recklessness as the reason she couldn't rely on him to run the company. So what does she do? She lures him back in, gives him just enough rope to hang himself, and watches to see what he does. And what did he do? Did he act like a loyal son? Did he act like a team player? No. He immediately went behind her back, dug for dirt, and launched a hostile takeover attempt against his own family's company. He failed the test spectacularly. He proved Jill right on every single level. And I have to say, the involvement of Lily Winters and Kane Ashby in this potential setup is just the icing on the cake. We saw them in the Monday, August 17th episode, right? Billy crashes their space, drops this massive bomb that he owns, Chancellor, and Lily and Kane just stare him down. They fiercely denied it. They told him to his face that he is obsessed and that his evidence is completely fabricated. Now, they seem genuinely panicked on some level, preparing for a dirty corporate war. But what if they are in on the test? What if Jill brought Kane and Lily into the fold to help execute this master plan? Even if Lily and Kane aren't in on the initial trap, they are definitely not going to just roll over and let Billy take the company. Lily has poured her blood, sweat, and tears into Chancellor Winters. She built that legacy. She is a fierce, brilliant CEO, and she is not going to let her ex-boyfriend stroll in and steal her throne based on some ancient, dusty piece of paper. And Kane is ready for war. Billy has always hated Kane, constantly whining about him like a petulant child, but Kane is the one acting like an adult here. Kane even went to Jack Abbott to warn him about Billy's dangerous obsession. The irony of Kane Ashby being the stable, responsible one while Billy acts like a lunatic is just too good. But let's get back to Billy, because his behavior right now is just absolutely infuriating. After he dropped this bomb on Lily and Kane, what did he do? Did he go home to his pregnant fiancée? No. He went straight to the Genoa City Athletic Club to gloat. He was literally overflowing with triumph, buying drinks and acting like he was the king of the world. And who does he run into? Audra Charles. Now, I have my issues with Audra. She is a ruthless corporate climber. But in this scene, Audra was actually the voice of reason. I know. I can't believe I'm saying it either. Audra sat there listening to Billy spill his entire hostile takeover plan, and she actually tried to warn him. She looked at this smug, arrogant man and told him that his destructive obsession with Chancellor is going to completely ruin his personal life. And she is 100% right. But did Billy listen? Of course not. He completely ignored her stark warnings. He forced her to toast to his bright future, completely oblivious to the massive storm clouds gathering right over his head. It is just so classic Billy. He only hears what he wants to hear. And this brings me to the absolute most heartbreaking part of this entire storyline, Sally Spectra. I am so sorry, but my heart just aches for Sally right now. She is out of town on a business trip, completely oblivious to the fact that her fiancé is starting a massive, stressful corporate war. Sally just found out she is pregnant. After everything she has been through, after the devastating, soul-crushing loss of baby Ava, she is finally getting another chance at motherhood. She is terrified. She is vulnerable. She needs peace, stability, and a supportive partner. But what is Billy doing? He is choosing his corporate addiction over his family. He should be focused on their upcoming wedding. He should be focused on the baby, but he can't help himself. The high of the corporate takeover, the thrill of sticking it to Victor and Kane and Lily, it's a drug to him. He is a literal addict. And right now, his drug of choice is Chancellor Industries. Audra knows this. Audra is trying to protect Sally's peace because they have formed this unexpected, deep bond. But Billy doesn't care. He thinks he can have it all, but he is going to lose everything. I mean, why does he do this? Let's psychoanalyze this guy for a minute because I have been watching him for years, and it is always the same cycle. Billy has massive daddy issues. He has always felt like the screw-up of the Abbott family compared to Jack. He desperately wants to prove that he is the golden boy, that he can be the ruthless titan that John Abbott was, or that Victor Newman is. But he doesn't have the discipline. He doesn't have the foresight. He just has this reckless, impulsive need to win at any cost without ever thinking about the consequences. Wait, maybe I'm being too harsh. I mean, he did lose Delia, and that trauma really broke him in ways he has never fully recovered from. Sometimes I do feel a tiny shred of sympathy for him because he is just so deeply broken inside. But no, I take it back. I don't feel bad for him right now because he has a choice. He has a beautiful woman who loves him, a baby on the way, and a good life, and tactfully choosing to throw a grenade into all of it just to prove a point to his mother and his rivals. It is selfish. It is incredibly, infuriatingly selfish. And let's look at how he is dragging the rest of his family into this mess. He went to Jack and Kyle on August 13th and proudly announced this whole scheme. Jack Abbott is currently recovering from being literally kidnapped and nearly killed by Victor Newman. Jack is dealing with Diane's severe trauma from the doctor. Markham ambush. Jack is dealing with Patty Williams blackmailing him for sex. The Abbott family is in absolute crisis mode, and Billy decides this is the perfect time to start a hostile takeover of Chancellor. It is so tone deaf. It is so wildly inappropriate. Jack must be looking at his brother and just wondering how they even share the same DNA. So what is going to happen when the trap finally springs shut? Because you know it is coming. I am counting down the days until Jill Abbott returns to Genoa City and drops the absolute hammer on her son. It is going to be brutal, but honestly, it is going to be so incredibly deserved. Billy is going to walk into that boardroom, smug as ever, ready to claim his throne, and Jill is going to pull the rug right out from under him. She is going to reveal that the evidence was a fake, a loyalty test that he failed in the most spectacular way possible. And the fallout is going to be apocalyptic. Lily and Kane are going to laugh him out of the building. Jack is going to be so disappointed in him. But the worst part, the absolute worst part, is going to be Sally's reaction. When Sally comes back to town and finds out that Billy risked their future, their peace, and their stability for a fake corporate takeover, she is going to be devastated. I wouldn't be surprised if this pushes her right back into Adam's orbit, especially since Adam and Chelsea are currently struggling with their own toxic history. Sally deserves a man who puts her first, and Billy is proving once again that he only puts himself first. I know some fans are hoping Billy actually pulls this off and becomes a ruthless CEO, but I just don't see it. He doesn't have the temperament. Remember when they tried this with him at Jabot? Yeah, didn't work then either. He gambled away the company yacht. He makes decisions based on ego and adrenaline, not logic and strategy. This entire Chancellor storyline is just a giant mirror being held up to Billy's flaws, and he is too blind to see the reflection. I am typing this furiously because I am just so emotionally invested in these characters. I have watched them grow, fail, and try again, but Billy's inability to learn from his mistakes is just exhausting. Yet, at the same time, I can't look away. It is premium soap opera drama. The anticipation of his impending downfall is keeping me glued to the screen every single day. I just want to shake him and scream, "Wake up, Billy!" But I know it wouldn't do any good. So here we are. We are watching a slow-motion train wreck. Billy Abbott is driving the train. He has cut the brakes, and he is accelerating straight into a brick wall named Jill Abbott. I am dreading the heartbreak it's going to cause Sally, but I am absolutely here for the corporate bloodbath that is about to ensue. Let me know if I am the only one seeing this setup, because I feel like I am taking crazy pills watching Billy act this smug. We are in for a wild ride, folks, and I will be right here venting about it every step of the way.